Hey everyone and welcome to the club. Today I'm going to be showing how to draw Ultron from the Avengers. Let's get started in the center of our page with the eyes. So we move over to the left side and draw in a circle. So we're going to start at the very top of the circle, work our way around to the bottom, and then back up towards the top. Now we leave a large gap in the center and draw the same thing on the right. So we're going to line up the top of the circle, work our way around to the bottom, and back up to the top. Now in the center of each eye, we're going to draw a small tiny circle for the pupil. Now let's draw the upper eyelid. In line with the outside of the eye, we're going to step up. Starting out here, we're going to angle down and in. Just over the top of the eye, I'm going to pull that into right about there. Let's do the same thing on the right. Lining this up, we're going to angle up and then out. From the inside, I just want to curve down and out underneath the bottom of the eye on both sides. Now let's move to the side of the eye. Draw a short line going straight out on both ends. Now from the top, I just want to curve out and then down towards that line. And then from the outside, we're just going to curve in and then down towards the bottom of the eye. Just blending this in. Now let's move to the inside. From the inside edge on the left, we're going to draw an angled line coming down and in. Do the same thing on the right side. And we'll close off the center with a straight line. Now we're going to move out and draw on the lower part of the head. Starting from the left side, we're going to draw a large half circle going up towards the right. So let's start out here, curve down in the middle. Now I'm just going to pull that up on the right side. Now from the bottom corners of the mouth, I'm going to start on the left, we're going to curve down and then out towards the chin. Do the same thing on the right side. Now going back up, we're going to draw a short angle line going out towards the corner of the mouth. Now from the corners, I want to curve up underneath the eye and out towards the side of the head. So we're going to start out here, we're going to curve up, round it out, and go to the outside. Let's do the same thing on the right, curving up, under the eye, and then out towards the side of the head. And now from the bottom corner, I just want to follow that same curve, coming down and out. Now I'm going to add those two large sockets on the side of the cheek. Starting from this corner, we're going to step in, and we're going to follow the same curve of the face, coming down and then in towards that curve. Do the same thing on the right side. Now we're going to step in and draw another curve. Just follow that same curve going across and in. Now we're going to move up and draw on the top of the head. Starting from the left side, we're going to start by going up and then pulling that in towards the top of the head. We're going to leave a gap at the top here. Start by going up, rounding this out. I'm just going to pull that in to right about there. Let's do the same thing on the right. So we're going to step over, curve out, round up the side of the head, and then down on top of the cheek. And then from the top, we're going to draw two straight angle lines coming down and in. Leave a gap in the middle, and we'll close this off with a straight line. Now from the top, I want to step down and just finish off that curve for the top of the head, going across and then back down. Let's trace this out on the outside. So from the corner, we're going to step out, just angle down and in, and then we'll close off the bottom. Now from the inside corner of the eye, I'm going to draw a short angle line going up and in, and then we'll close this off with a straight line. And then from the top corners, I want to curve up and out towards the top of the head. So we'll start on the left, going up, go to the right, and do the same thing. Now we're just going to trace this out on the outside. Stepping out, we're going to follow that same curve, coming down and then in. And then from the top point of the brow, we're going to curve up and then out. Let's add a little bit more detail to the head. From the bottom corner, I'm going to angle down and out towards that line on both sides. Now we're going to go to the other side of this line, draw a short line going across. Now we're going to angle down and out towards that curve. Now let's add those fins on the side of the head. Starting from this line, we're going to step up. We're going to curve out, round it out, and then pull that in. Let's line this up on the right side and do the same thing. Curving out, rounding it out, and then pulling that in. And then from here, we're just going to angle up and in behind the head. Now back at the top, I just want to follow that same curve coming around, and then we're going to come in towards that inside point. Curving around the head, and then pulling that in. I'm going to add one more trim on the outside of the head. So taking this curve, I'm going to step out and just follow that in towards the top of the brow on both sides. Alright, so now we complete the head, let's work our way down the body. So we start with the size of the body first. Starting on the left side, we curve out and then down towards the hip. Do the same thing on the right side, curving out and then down. We're going to close off the bottom with a curve, from left to right, going down the middle. Now let's add some detail to the body. In the center, underneath the chin, we're going to step down, start with a point. From this point, I want to curve up and out towards the top of the shoulder on the left. Go back to the center, curve up and out towards the right. Now from that center point, I'm going to draw a straight line coming down about halfway down the body. Now we're going to cross this with a short line going across the bottom. Let's go to the corners. I'm going to curve up and out towards the left. And then we'll go to the right side and do the same thing. Let's add two lines coming down the center. So on the left of center, we'll come straight down towards the bottom. Do the same thing on the right. Let's add a trim along the top. From the top of the shoulder, I'm going to step down and follow that same curve coming in towards the center of the body. And go back up on the right side. And then from the bottom of the line, we're going to step up. We're going to curve down and then out towards the side of the body. Start with the left. Line this up on the right. Do the same thing. Now about halfway along this curve, we draw two straight lines coming down towards the waist. Now one small detail, we start at the very top here, we're going to curve in and taper that down towards that curve. Do the same thing on the right side. Now let's draw on the legs. From the center, we're going to step down, draw a short line going across the center. On the left side, I'm going to curve up and out towards the left hip. Go back to the right side, curve up and out towards the right hip. Now leaving a gap in the center underneath the waist, we're going to step to the left side, draw a short line coming down, go to the right and do the same thing, and then we'll close off the bottom with a straight line. Now we're going to draw the inside of the leg. Starting from the left point here, curve out and down towards the left heel, we'll curve out and down towards the right heel. Now let's round out the bottom of the feet. Starting from the heel, we're going to curve down and up towards the toe on the left and right. Now back on the left side, we're going to draw on the top of the foot. We're going to curve up. I'm going to bend this down, aiming towards the heel. We're going to stop right about there. Let's do the same thing on the right. Curving up, curving down towards the heel. And then from the inside, we're going to angle up and in towards the inside of the leg. Now we're going to move up to the hip and draw on the side of the leg. Starting from the left hip, we're going to curve out, round up the leg, and then pull that in towards the top of the foot. Do the same thing on the right. Now let's add some detail to the foot. Starting on the left side on top of the foot, we're going to curve in and then down. We're not going to go all the way. Now we're going to follow that same curve going in towards the heel. Let's do the same thing on the right. Curving across and then down. And then following the curve of the foot going towards the heel. Let's separate out the toe. We're going to take this curve, step in, go all the way up towards the top. Do the same thing on the right side. Now we're going to move up and draw on the boot cuff. Starting on the left side, we're going to curve down and then up towards the inside of the leg. Line this up on the right and do the same thing. And then from this bottom point, I want to curve out and then up towards the boot cuff. Do the same thing on the right side. Now from here, I just want to step in, curve in the opposite direction, curving down and then out, in behind that first curve. Now from the hip, I'm going to step in, I'm going to follow the curve of the leg coming down to right about there, draw a short angle line coming down and in. Now we're going to curve back up, in behind the hip. Let's do the same thing on the right. Now we're going to add the kneecap on top of the boot cuff. Starting from this corner, angle up and in. We're going to go straight across, angle down and in. Do the same thing on the right. Angling up and in, going across, and then angle down towards the boot cuff. Now we're going to move back up and draw on the arms. We start halfway down the side of the body, so right here, curve out, and then down towards the wrist. Line this up on the right, and do the same thing. Now back on the left side, we're going to start with the thumb. We're going to draw a small half circle, and at the end of the thumb, we'll draw a bracket. At the bottom curve of the thumb, curve down and up around that bracket for the first finger. Now we're going to add 2 more fingers on the side. Starting at the bottom, curve down and up the second finger. Now we're going to go up towards the side of this finger, curve out. I'm just going to pull that in behind the head, right beside the body. Let's do the same thing on the right. We're going to start with a thumb, and then a bracket. Now we're going to add the fingers. Curve down and up around that bracket. Draw on the second finger. Now the third finger, we're going to go all the way around. Now again, we're going to pull this in behind the head. Curving up, and then in. Now let's add some detail to the arms. We're going to start with the cuff. Starting from the wrist, we're going to curve up, and then down on the outside. Now we're going to move up and draw a half circle on the shoulder. Starting from the top of the body, we're going to curve out, round this out, and then pull that in towards the bottom of the arm. Do the same thing on the right. Curving out, and pulling that back in. I want to trace this out on the inside with a slightly smaller half circle. Now from that half circle, we're going to step down, curve up, and then out towards the outside of the arm. Line this up on the right, curving up, and then out. Now on the bottom of this half circle, we're going to angle down and out towards that line on both sides. Now we're going to go to the outside of this line, we're going to curve in and then down just on the inside of the wrist. Right about there. Do the same thing on the right side. And then we're going to step in, draw that same curve coming down towards the wrist. Same thing on the right. And that's pretty much it. There we have it. There's Ultron from the Avengers. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Make sure you subscribe and send me your requests in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.